All right. Test.
This town is dead until after dark.
Welcome to Salem's Lot.
Stephen King brought them to life.
Vampires.
Now,
Bring it on here!
they rise from their graves again.
Dad! Give me my son back! Vampires!
As only Stephen King could create them. A Return to Salem's Lot, directed by Larry Cohen.
And we are back here on Convincing Idiots. If you are hearing our voices, congratulations. You have made it out of the other side of the tunnel. You are here. You are in the new world. You have survived the apocalypse, and you are here with myself, Millennial Nick, along with Gen X Brian. And today, for our final segment, we decided we were going to talk about some sequels, some follow-ups to maybe films or TV shows or any other properties that maybe we enjoyed, some that we enjoyed, some that we did not enjoy. Typically, originals get a pretty good rap, while sequels sometimes don't live up to the expectations of the first. But one thing I can tell, for example, okay, like you grow up, you're a child, right? Your mode of transportation is a bicycle. You love getting around on your bikes. It's how you get to see your friends. It's how you get around. You don't have a driver's license. How could you beat a bike? However, our friends at RPM Bike Shop have made the sequel to the traditional bicycle, if you will. They have made an electric bike. That's right. I didn't stutter. It's an electric bike. And they have everything you can imagine. They can make all your wildest dreams come true. They have made the perfect sequel. All you have to do is dial 330-808-7792 to give them a call. You can also go see their wonderful products by searching on Facebook. In the toolbar there, just search RPM Bike Shop. They are located in Carrollton, Ohio. You can see their wonderful products. You can also see their products on their website, which is rpmbikeshop.com. So be sure to stop over there, check out their wonderful bikes that they have to offer you, and you could be on your very own ride to the sequel of your dreams today with an electric bike from RPM Bike Shop. So give them a call. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that. Yeah. So, but yeah, sequels are enjoyable. Okay. And they're not all quite the big hit that an electric bike is, the newest form of transportation, like our friends at RPM Bike Shop have. However, over the years, being film connoisseurs that we are, we've come across some good ones, some bad ones. So, Brian, I would like to start. Let's see. I'm going to take a look around the room. Brian, I'll start with you. Yes, you look eager. You look ready to go. Go ahead, good or bad. Give me what do you want to do? You want to start good? You want to start bad?
I'll give you one bad one. It's one I mentioned at the beginning of the show. I'll start with that real quick here. So
yeah,
a Return to Salem's Lot. So again, Salem's Lot it's a vampire movie set in they've remade Salem's Lot a couple times. I just noticed, I saw today actually that there's going to be another reboot of Salem's Lot coming out next year. So I'm interested in that. It's actually a very good story.
I'm not familiar with Salem's Lot at all.
That's okay.
So go ahead and give me a brief synopsis here.
Very brief synopsis of Salem's Lot is it's a small town I think it's in New England. It's like Jerusalem's Lot, so they call it Salem's Lot, and the vampires live there. So a writer discovers them, and then the vampires are starting to take over the town and decides to go hunt them. So it's a very simple, basic premise, but very good storyline and all that. So the original was in 1979. So it's definitely a 1979 movie, but it was entertaining. I enjoyed it. If you're not talking about it, it's set in the 70s, whatever. Anyway, the sequel came out in 1987, which I did not realize. It just one of the most bizarre sequels. So basically, a guy goes back into Salem's Lot with his son, who's a troublemaker. Vampires are living in the town. Kind of, they've taken it over. They're kind of hiding out in this town, ruling. It just. I can go on and on about it. I'm not going to waste a lot of time with it. Just very bizarre. I'll just give you one thing. The guy talked about a girl that he dated in the past, right? When he was a younger man. Okay. Mm-hmm. Next thing you know, there's a girl there, says something along the lines. Now, this guy's clearly, it's Michael Moriarty, who's been in a lot of different movies and stuff like this. He's an early acting job for him. Good old surprise. He's clearly in his 30s, okay, or thereabouts, okay. This girl says, I wanted to preserve myself as you remember me. So she's a vampire. Preserve myself as you remembered me all those years ago. Immediately jumps right in the bed, has sex with her. And I'm thinking, now let me hold on here for just a second here. You said that you remembered her as 17 years old. Here's a young woman. The actress is in her 20s, I think. I'm just like, what is happening here? So did I just witness a man in his 30s
I want you to be able to be with an underage girl again. Yeah.
Right. His ex-girlfriend who is a teenager, and within 30 seconds, you're right in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Anyway, very bizarre, not well done. The special effects are crazy, nuts. If you want to see maybe a good, bad movie, maybe watch it, but really bizarre, strange. I would never watch it again, unless it was for fun or something along that line. But, like to make fun of, that type of thing. So, anyhow, that's one. I'll start out with that. So, a Return to Salem's Lot, thumbs down on that one. Nick, whatever you want to do, a good or bad one, sir.
I'll stick with a bad one here. This is just a real big old gimme. So we've talked a lot about superhero movies. Both you and I have been big fans of the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man series. Spider-Man 3 has to be one of... So as leading into this, I had to ask you specifically, because I wasn't sure of the details, if a sequel could be, as if a sequel was simply the secondary film, like the immediate follow-up to an original, or any of the previous ones. So when you said it was any of the previous ones, Spider-Man 3 seems to be the biggest free space on the bingo board. Yep. Spider-Man 3, those Tobey Maguire movies were very good, the first two of them. The third one had a lot of promise. I felt like the character of the Sandman was really good.
Yes.
I mean, we've talked it many times. I'm a big fan of the character of Venom. I was beyond excited that they were going to put Venom in a Spider-Man movie. Only to have him played by Eric from that 70s show, Topher Grace, which no fault to his. Just the casting decision off the hop was not right.
No.
And Venom wasn't even the worst part. The miscast of Venom was not the worst part. They even made fun of it in Across the Spider-Verse or Into the Spider-Verse. The dancing scene where he's got the symbiote and he's being kind of like bad boy Peter Parker, and he's like goes into this jazz club and he's dancing, and it's awkward and uncomfortable and weird and clunky and just horrible, and no one would ever do that. It's just such a bad. It makes me so upset, because it's like it could have been so good, and you'd already seen, like I said, first Spider-Man, thought it was great. Second Spider-Man, perhaps even better. And then, so you had this expectation that, okay, this is the trajectory of this is good. And then the third one just shit the bed so hard, much like our friend Dean. It was awful. And so Spider-Man 3 is up there for bad sequels for me.
I agree with you. It's Sam Raimi has said many times it was not the movie he wanted to make. It was they tried to pack way too much into one movie. Too many villains, too many storylines. They try to shoehorn in Gwen Stacy in that movie, if you remember.
Yeah.
The whole rivalry with her and Mary Jane. It's just, like you say, too much. The only good thing about that, best thing about that movie is the dancing scene when he's walking down the street. If you remember, was filmed in downtown Cleveland, Ohio.
Was it?
Yes, indeed. So you can pick out some of the buildings in downtown Cleveland.
So we have the fumble, the drive, the dancing scene.
the taking my talent to South Beach. Yeah, the whole
right.
thing.
Yeah. The decision and then the dancing scene. Yes, that's right.
There you go. Yeah, they should put that in the clip, the sports clip. Every time Cleveland blows something, 2016.
You fucked
World
up
Series,
like the Spider-Man
Tobey Maguire
trilogy.
dancing.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh boy. Okay, so I'll give you a bad one here too. Now this I didn't give you a good one yet. I'll give you a good one. I gave you a bad one last time here. Arguably one of the best sequels in ever. Yes, it's certainly, we are big fans of this universe here. So how about the Empire Strikes Back? So it's like you some people say that is the best Star Wars movie of all of them, and they would not be wrong to think that way at all. So I know we've done our list. We've done many Star Wars episodes. Empire Strikes Back is typically 1 or 2 in many people's lists. Just well done. When you watch Star Wars, you think, how in the world are they going to come back and top this movie? And by damn, they did. Yeah, it was at least on par, if not better, than the original Star Wars. So arguably, still, of all the Star Wars movies they've made, it's still top 2, 3 easily. One of the best sequels, certainly in that franchise. It's probably the best sequel in that franchise, period. Let's start right there.
Yeah.
And one of the best Star Wars movies, period, still to this day. So hard to top.
Absolutely. I had that on my list as well. I think when our first episode, we did our rankings and stuff like that. I've always personally been partial to Return of the Jedi. But I understand. I've said on that episode, I understand that Empire Strikes Back is like the best movie of Star Wars. In my opinion, I think it's just the most well done. It's a great movie. When I was a kid, it seemed a little long, but now it's just it is. It's a great movie. That was actually the first one that I had written down when I was writing down my good sequels. It was Empire first. So good pick. Good pick. Yep.
Thank you.
I will follow up with another good pick and probably, again, another obvious one. Maybe not as obvious as Empire, but definitely we are fans of this character as well. And in the Christopher Nolan saga of the Batman movies, The Dark Knight. Dark Knight might still be the best superhero movie, period. I don't know. It's debatable.
It's arguably one of the best. I agree.
But Batman Begins was a solid movie. It was a different take on Batman than what we had seen in the earlier years with the Joel Schumacher movies and the changes in Batman and all the things, so different, more down to earth, I would say, realistic take on Batman in Batman Begins. Good movie, but man, The Dark Knight, whole other level. True, just stepped outside of a superhero movie. True, just drama, just great movie, just well done. Heath Ledger, obviously, I don't need to tell anybody about how he took the Joker to another level. Everybody knows. So well done. Just the plot line, the spin on the characters. Dark Knight is one of the best sequels ever, hands down. Period.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, that is the first superhero movie, period, where an actor won an Oscar for a portrayal in a superhero movie. I'm pretty sure. And of course, he had passed on. Of course, poor Heath Ledger had passed on when he won that award. But I think so. I think so. So yeah, it's like I'm with you 100%. One of my favorite movies, period, let alone superhero movies, is The Dark Knight, because of the whole dynamic with Heath, and I can't think of the guy's name, but the guy that played Two-Face too, the whole Harvey did. He was fabulous in that movie as well.
Aaron Eckhart, was it?
That's right. I think that's right.
Yeah.
I think that's right.
Yep.
Fabulous.
Yep.
Fabulous. So, all right, I'll give you another bad one here.
Okay.
How about the last Wonder Woman? Wonder Woman 1984.
Okay. I didn't see it, and honestly, the reason was because everybody said it was bad.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
The word of mouth in that thing, it's a shame. because the first Wonder Woman was quite good, and I like Gal Gadot in that role.
Yeah.
Not her fault. So it's just bizarre, strange, bizarre. So here's your premise: my boyfriend died in the first movie. This is the premise. Someone said, write this out. And someone said, I like it. Green light, go. Or maybe they said, nah, it's Wonder Woman, it's going to sell, or something like that. This is why now you have James Gunn and Peter Safran, I'm sure, is one reason at the helm to say, if they're in charge, this movie does not get made. I guarantee it. It's not with this script. So, long story short, my boyfriend is dead. He possesses some dude I don't know. He and I sleep with him because he's my boyfriend, but he's in some other guy's body.
As you do, sure.
And it's perfectly okay and fine. I'm with my quote unquote boyfriend, but it's some dude, random dude, that's been possessed by my boyfriend, who's dead, and I'm just having a great old time with this guy, sleeping with him and having adventures and stuff like that. Meanwhile, it's like this guy's life. It's like, what's happened to this guy's life?
The guy that was possessed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not showing up for work. His whole life is you're risking this guy's entire career and life because he's not. Does he have a significant other?
Jerry's been fucking Wonder Woman and he's just not showing up to work anymore?
But none of it comes up. Is this guy single? I don't remember any of that coming up here to where it's just like, and obviously, he's gone. He exits his body and all that, and they sort of have a moment on the street to where, did I maybe have sex with you? Sort of type deal, and wink, wink. I'm just like, what is happening? It's just completely off the rails. Crazy premise. The Wonder Woman scenes are great. All that's fine. But just that whole premise, it's just bizarre. Strange, bizarre. So
interesting.
Not recommend. So you've never seen it? No reason to. Unless you want to see, just understand and watch for yourself the whole weirdness of that concept. Other than that, no reason to watch it.
All right.
Unless you fast forward to the fight scenes, or maybe you just want to do that. Fast forward, watch her beat up people, which is cool. That's it. That's fine.
Yeah.
Move on. So
okay.
All right, you got to get a good or bad one, sir.
I will give you one more bad one here.
Okay.
And this is, I don't know if this is breaking the rules or not. I've never seen this movie. I don't need to see this movie because it didn't need to be made. Okay. I don't know if you know that this exists or not, but there is a Jingle All the Way 2. Which is a bunch of bullshit.
Larry the Cable Guy,
I don't need to see it. Yeah. You try to replace a lead actor like Arnold Schwarzenegger with Larry the Cable Guy. There's your first fuck up, and I don't even need a second one. I don't need to see. You don't need to improve on perfection. Okay. It was a straight to DVD film, never in theaters. Okay. I will not see Jingle All the Way 2. I have not seen Jingle All the Way 2. I never will.
Yeah.
So there you go.
No reason to. It sounds like
no. That's it. It's it. I'm done. It's all the time it deserves. I'm done.
I'll give you a good one. I know it's one of our favorites. We're both Arnold Schwarzenegger fans. T2. This is another movie where it's arguably as good, if not, some people like T2 better than the original Terminator. And that's perfectly fine to say that. Yeah, perfectly fine to say that. Great movie. A lot of fun. Obviously, he becomes the good guy in this. The morphing robot. I mean, if you're a remote fan of this pod, you watch T2. If for some unusual reason you've never seen the Terminator 2, just go back and check it out. It may not hold up as well, maybe with some of the special effects. I don't know. But it's a lot of fun. Arnold's great. Go check out T2. Yep.
Nope. 100% agree. That's fantastic pick. As soon as you said Arnold, you were like sequel. I'm like, oh, T2. Absolutely.
Yep.
I will go with, and this is probably not like a super popular one, or I know many people that maybe didn't like this movie as much. I love the Thor movies. I loved the second Thor movie, The Dark World. I know a lot of people that were kind of indifferent to it. They didn't really think it was that great. I thought it was phenomenal. I liked it better than the first one. I loved the scene where, with Anthony Hopkins, their father's gone, and then coming to terms with Loki, and it's a lot of, I don't know. I loved that movie. I really enjoyed it. I remember leaving the movie theater, seeing that movie, and just being like, Wow, that like because I mean I loved the first Thor movie, but that one really blew me away. I liked it a lot. So yeah, Thor: The Dark World. That was for me definitely a sequel to a superhero movie that I enjoyed. And sidebar, I'm looking very forward. Next week, I'll be able to tell you in not so much detail because I don't want to give spoilers, but I will be able to tell you how the sequel to Black Panther holds up because I plan on going to see that this weekend. So
yeah, I definitely want to see that soon too.
yeah,
I'm with you. It was surprisingly good, and as before, they took Thor into the more almost too extreme, goofy
yeah. It was
direction.
before it was really comedies. You know, they started focusing on the comedy role, which is fine because he fits. Chris Hemsworth does it well. You know, he fits well into those roles and he plays well into them, as we've seen in the Avenger movies and the Thor movies that have come after. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely at those times they were still character building and there really wasn't a lot of the comic relief involved and things like that. So, but I loved the second Thor movie.
Very good. I'm a huge fan of the first movie. The sequel is one of the worst movies ever made. Literally, it made me angry and upset to watch the sequel of this movie. Not even joking. I don't think I've ever watched it, but maybe one time. Barely got through it because it's so terrible. Caddyshack 2.
Okay. I've never seen Caddyshack 2.
Again, the only reason to watch it would be if you want to see a train wreck of a movie and just to visualize it, just to take it in. Horrible, horrible, horrible. They wrote it with the idea of Rodney Dangerfield and Chevy Chase would come back and reprise their roles. Rodney Dangerfield said no thank you. They brought in comedian Jackie Mason for this. There's actually a lot of people in this movie. Dan Aykroyd is in this, and a few folks. Chevy Chase does come back and reprises his role of Ty Webb, but just crazy. Now, the premise, if I recall correctly, they turn Bushwood into like a huge like miniature golf course type thing with like Looney Tunes characters on the court. It's just horrible movie. It's if you're the original, I like it, and the original, a lot of people you love it or hate it type deal. But it's just at the opposite end of the spectrum of funniness of Caddyshack 2. Horrible.
Bad.
Horrible.
Bad.
You look at any of these lists online, worst sequels, usually it's going to contain Caddyshack 2. Terrible.
Yeah. Alrighty, I will give you another.
You want to call that?
I've got one.
I know it's getting late, but go ahead, please.
One more bad, one more good. Okay.
Perfect.
One more bad here. I had such high hopes because I loved the first Transformers movie. I eagerly went to see the second Transformers movie in the theater, and honestly, that's probably I've never walked out of a theater because I've already paid the money to be there. I was pretty close in that one. They tried so hard to shoehorn comedy into it and introduce new characters that were goofy and funny, and it was over. The first one did such a good job of introducing comedy but not trying so hard. There were these quippy little remarks and things like that, and it was funny, people's reaction to things. They didn't have to make fun, goofy characters and try to appeal to children and do all the second Transformers. I was so upset. Like you said with Caddyshack, I was like just upset in the theater. I'm like, what the hell happened? The first one, and I wasn't even the biggest. I mean, Transformers was popular, but before I was, it was a little bit before my time. So when that movie came out, it's not like it was this big thing that was building that I was so excited to see, but I watched the first Transformers with Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox, and I was like, this is a good movie. They really did a good job. Second one, no. Tried too hard. Worried too much about trying to be funny, and it's just, I hated it.
Okay. I agree. We're definitely clunkers. All right, let me give you another bad one, then I'll give you one more good one myself here. We can talk about this all. There's so many good and bad sequels out there. So let's see. I'm looking at my list of bad ones here. How about Batman and Robin?
Ooh. Yeah.
I know it's one of your favorites just because you as a kid and you like some stuff in there, but
No, it's not. I actually hate Batman and Robin. I hate.
Okay, well there you
I
have it.
do hate
I know you
Batman and
like
Robin.
Chris
That's the
Isaac
George.
as Rob. Yes, you're right.
Chris,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
I love Chris O'Donnell as Robin, but the
Chris
George
O'Donnell,
Clooney
Chris Isaac.
Batman
Yep.
makes me furious. It's just
Yep.
awful, so bad.
And George Clooney, he admits it. He knows it's a bad movie, which I'm glad that he did. Again, not the actor's fault.
No.
You're working with what you got.
I'm pretty sure they ran out of money halfway through. I read a story about like the budget and like how they basically had to shoot like the whole second half of the movie. They had no more money, so they had to like the costumes were cheap and shitty, and it just yeah.
All you have to know is you've seen the memes, you've heard this story before. Just all the bat suits, men and women, all for some reason had nipples on them. Why?
Gotta have nips.
We don't know. Not sure.
Yeah.
So it had a lot of promise with the casting. The casting's phenomenal.
Sure.
Cast is phenomenal.
That one had Alicia Silverstone as Batgirl and Chris O'Donnell. I do love Chris O'Donnell as Robin, and Arnold Schwarzenegger, Mr. Freeze, Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy. Yeah, you're right.
It should have been good, but it just was not. Horrible. Terrible.
Yep.
And it killed that franchise for many. Think about that.
Yeah.
That franchise disappeared after that movie all those years, all until the Christopher Nolan trilogy.
Yeah, the Batman
which was
Begins.
so good. And it just like, oh my God, it was like a breath of fresh air watching that one air. So that's how corny those got back then. So
yeah, that one was egregiously bad. Yeah.
Any other ones you got, sir?
Last good one. Kind of talked about it in my first one, but I'm gonna go ahead for the good one. Spider-Man 2, the one with Dr. Octopus with Tobey Maguire. Good. That one was even better. I loved the first one, but it was better than the first. Better than the first one, hands down. Definitely was. So not much more to say. Just great acting, great storyline. Loved it.
Very good. And I'll give you one here. This is a movie. This is a sequel I watch every single holiday season. One of my favorite holiday movies, period. And you kind of forget it's considered a sequel. How about Christmas Vacation?
Yep. Yeah, so, you're right.
It's the third of the Vacation movies. You had the original Vacation. Then you had European Vacation, which was The best part of that was the circle. Christmas Vacation, just same characters, just a whole different vibe. Love it. I don't get tired of it. I'll watch it every single holiday season without fail. If I get behind in holiday movies, that always is my top 2-3 in my rotation. Just love it every single year.
Yeah,
I have a Clark Griswold hockey jersey, Blackhawks hockey jersey, the whole bit. I just love that movie so much. Go ahead, sorry.
No, I was gonna say you're right. I never would have thought of that one, but you're right. Technically it's the third in the franchise. It's a sequel. Yep. Yeah.
I appreciate it more as being a father as well. I think it's a movie where, as a kid, you like it. It's funny, but I think once you become a father and you're now the kind of the Clark Griswold of your own little family, it just that movie just takes on a whole new meaning.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I'll say about that. All right.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Nick, we could do a whole telethon here and just keep going and entertain people in the post-apocalyptic world for several hours, and I'm sure that they've
got the time.
For that right now.
Yeah,
they do have the time. But like I got the gel fireplace going.
Mm-hmm.
I got Convincing Idiots. Somehow I still have internet service. I don't know how I have it, but somehow we have it going here. It's our Wi-Fi connection in the luxury bunker.
Yeah,
we decided we're going to watch all the Convincing Idiots videos on YouTube. Yep.
My house now on the surface level of Earth doesn't always have Wi-Fi, so that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah, so you're watching us. We hope you continue to enjoy, and we'd like to hear your. But it's in all seriousness. If you have sequels that we missed, let us know. Email us, post on our Facebook page or social media. We'd like to hear your thoughts of what are some of the best and worst sequels out there. And
for sure.
We'll share your comments later. So, Nick, why don't you take us out? You pick any character, actor, maybe from one of your favorite or least favorite sequels, or actor or actress, whatever you want.
Okay. Well, I did bring up I did bring up Batman, so we're gonna do Christian Bale Batman on the way out. This is angry, screamy, whispery Batman. So, if you have not already done so, be sure to go to Convincing Idiots' Linktree. Just Google Convincing Idiots, LINKTREE, and there you will find all of our social media accounts. Also, be sure to check in with Commissioner Gordon and then get him and go to our website, convincingidiots.wordpress.com. So for this episode of Convincing Idiots, I am an angry, screamy, whispery millennial Nick.
Apocalyptic Gen X Brian.
Post-apocalyptic.
Something like that.
Yes, that's right. So, for this episode of Convincing Idiots, have we convinced you to sign up and subscribe for our Mastodon account?
Hey, team with Convincing Idiots. Brian and Nick here. Like and subscribe.